today we're going to be getting to learn from Mr. Buck. So I'll turn it over to Chief first and rename Buck.
Okay, you guys go into your box. And this is what we're looking for right now. Okay. And inside this, you should have some paints. And you should have a paper plate. And you should have your swath of cloth and a little paintbrush. Okay.
We should have 2 pieces of cloth, correct?
2 pieces of cloth. There you go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give it over to Buck, and Buck will tell you what kind of setup that you're going to need. So, and we'll give you a few seconds to get set up. Okay. Because I know you guys aren't set up yet. So
you guys have time to set up. We're not going to dive right into it. I'm going to talk about some of the things we're going to do first. So you have a little bit of time.
So you ready, buddy? I'm going to just give it to you, Buck.
All right.
All right. You're on, Bud.
Okay. First question. By show of hands, does anyone have the color blue as far as paint goes? Does anyone have blue paint? Okay. Very good. Scooter didn't send me any blue paint. I was a little worried because that's a primary color. Okay, so here's the idea. Here's what we're going for. Because our whole theme is physically distant, socially together. I'm getting a lot of noise in the background.
Everyone mute.
Yeah, if you're moving stuff around, try to mute if you could.
Why are you guys so quiet? It's so like it's already
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going for is, since the theme is physically distant, socially together, and every year since we do our art project together, and this year we can't, what we're going for is to do something individually, and then we're going to bring them all together, and then we're going to quilt them together and make our banner that way this year. And the basic idea, what I'd like from everyone is a handprint, because that's something that is specifically you and will be individual to each of you. Now, so our art project is going to be, the basic is just a handprint. All we need is a handprint. I know some of you might want to add to it, and some of you might want to get fancier, and some of you might not want to get so fancy. And all of that is fine. If you just want to do the handprint, that is okay. If you want to add to it, you absolutely can. And I'm going to show you some options for adding to it also. And we're also going to go over the basics of how to make a handprint. Also, I'll give you a couple other things you might need. Paper towels. And we're going to be adding water to our paint. So we're going to need some water. And I found the best way to mix water to this is not from any type of faucet. It's best if you have water in some type of cup so you can add it very slowly, because we're going to want, if you pour too much water in, you can dilute your paint so much, it'll kind of become useless. So if anyone needs that, grab some paper towels and a cup with some water. Go ahead and do that right now. And one other thing, I already mentioned it, but a plastic trash bag. We're going to be doing work on a plastic trash bag because that's going to stop your paint from going through the cloth and onto whatever surface you're working on, because in cloth, it will go straight through. And we'll just take a second for a couple of our family to come back with stuff.
So paper towel, cup of water, your plastic sheet, and all your supplies. Anything else?
Nope.
That's it.
And be ready to have some fun.
Heck yeah.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely. And before you ask it, I'd like to say if anyone has a question, feel free to ask. I'm not going to be close enough to use the chat. So, and counselors, if you do see a question on chat, if you could type in and ask me, because I'll be on the floor working on a lot of this, and I'll answer questions that way. So yes, Blondie, what did you get?
Actually, it's in the chat already. I was just wondering why we have 2 sheets, but one for the handprint and one for whatever you want. And do you want both of those back then?
No. So the idea behind 2 is I put that in because I tend to screw things up sometimes.
Sure.
So this is 2 shots at it. So if you end up making one and you don't like it, you can go ahead and try to make another one. If it doesn't turn out the way you like, you can take another shot. So that's why we have 2. And what we would like to get back is just the one that you like the best.
When do you need these back by? Because
So we'll work
Tomorrow
on-
by 10 a.m.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. That's up to Scooter.
Yeah, the foundation will work with each of you collecting these. I think with the weights of the paint, we're gonna have to get a little creative. I think Prod, of course, you're gonna be easy to collect, while Sammy, it may be a little bit harder for us to collect yours. But by next year, we'll have a completed one. You know, that's the goal. Hopefully, we can get everyone's back.
Okay. I see some.
Good to see you.
I see. Okay. Looks like Lauren's set. Are you guys noticing anyone that still looks like they need a little bit more time, or it isn't back yet?
Kai isn't back.
Sorry, what was that?
Uh,
And Elise, you asked, so you want the sheet back? Are you talking about the piece of cloth? If you are talking about the piece of cloth, yes. I just went over that in case some of you missed it. The reason you have 2 pieces of cloth is because I want to give you guys an opportunity to make a second one if you don't like the first one. If it doesn't come out exactly the way you want, you've got a second shot at it. And then whichever one you like best is the one we want back. We only need 1 back from each of you. And then it'll all be quilted together somehow. So let's get into the basics of making a handprint. What we're going to go with, and what I found works best, is we're going to take your paint, and then we're going to add about a 1-to-1 ratio of water to paint. And that way it mixes real well. It gives you more than enough paint to get over your hand. And it also gets a little more detail. Now, if you want, I'm going to show you a couple other options of what happens when you put a little more water and when you put no water, just so you get a look at that. And if you want to do a handprint that looks more like that, you absolutely can. But I found it's a little easiest if you do that 1-to-1 ratio too, because the cloth is going to want to suck up the water. So when you put your hand on, it really takes that moisture and paint off your hand a little better if you have some water in it. So first of all, I'm going to show you what it looks like when you just use paint. So this is a handprint with just paint. It's a little splotchy. You don't see a lot of detail, but it still works. It still definitely works as a handprint. This is it. I'm going to show you later how to make an image underneath your handprint. And this is a good handprint for that because the solid paint will go well over another painted area. So this is a good handprint for that. Now, if you add more water to it, this is 2 water to 1 paint. You get a very, I mean, this is your whole handprint. This absorbs very well. You're going to get a pretty good kind of imprint of it because that water is going to help the paint really spread around and really absorb into the cloth really nice. But now, for a second, ignore the fact that this one has writing on it. But I just want you to look at how the handprint turned out. This is the 1-to-1. So this is now, if you notice on the 1-to-1, you're going to get some detail. You're going to get some of the lines on your palm. You're going to get some of the lines on your fingertips, and you can get some stuff like that. So that's the 3 different types of handprints. All paint, 1-to-1 paint and water, and 2 water to 1 paint. So
I'm
those
sorry.
are,
This might be a
Basic.
stupid question.
yes.
What do you mean by like 1 water, 1 paint? Like 1 drop of water per paint?
So that little cup you've got of paint, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna take that, and whichever color you choose, you're gonna try to empty all that paint onto the plate. And then you're gonna wanna put the same amount of water that you did paint.
So would we just fill up the container with water and then dump
You
it?
could do that, but but like I showed you, even if you get too much water or not enough water, it's still gonna work. So you
Okay.
can't just eyeball it too.
Okay, cool.
But
Thanks.
the 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 is really what you're just eyeballing and looking for.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, now, also with that, I don't know if you guys have all the colors, but do we have an image of a color wheel? Does everyone know the basics of a color wheel? So your primary colors are going to be blue, yellow, and red. And if you want something a little more orange, you can mix yellow and red. If you want something green, you can mix yellow and blue. If you want some purple, you can mix red and blue. So if you're looking at a color that isn't exactly what you want, you can definitely mix a little bit of different paint in to change up the color before you add the water. I have an example of how I came up with kind of a pink that way. And also, actually, pink is going to be red with white added to it to lighten it. And you can do that as well. If you want to lighten the colors, if you're going to darken a color, if you want something a little darker, that would be adding black to it. But I'm going to warn you, add very tiny amounts of black paint because black is a very strong color and it can overpower and turn it into like a dark gray almost. So if that's what you're looking for, that's great. I just don't want you to add too much black right away and darken it to a point where it's not what you're looking for anymore because you don't have a lot of extra paint to put. Any questions about mixing paint and coming up with color you'd like?
Buck, I have a question. When we're at
Yes.
camp, when we're at Yaz, you usually mix paint like on a plate, like Bob Ross style. Can we add water to the paint like that too, or do we need to put it in a cup?
No. Actually, sorry if I didn't say that clearly. Yes, absolutely. Add the water to the plate. That's the idea here. You're going to add the paint, and I'm going to show you that. I'm going to do one of those with you to go through that whole process. But so you're going to add the paint to the plate, and then you're going to add the water to the plate. You can mix it right there. And then with the plate, we're going to put our hand down on the plate. And that's how we're going to paint our hand and then transfer that image onto the cloth. So did that answer that question?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, dude, you got it. Thanks, man.
Sweet. Now I'm going to show you a couple of mistakes I made, and I'm going to tell you how I made them and hopefully try to steer you guys away from those mistakes yourself. So I was trying to I wanted to show you what it looked like if you put an image in the background and then put a handprint on top of that image. And here was my first shot at it. I was going with like a heart with a handprint on it. Now what I did on this one, it's kind of hard to see, but I did the heart, and the way I did the heart was to cover that big surface. I actually painted that with my fingertips because I got the water and the paint, and because of that, I can just put my fingers in and use my fingertips to come up and cover that. The cloth actually takes the paint pretty well, so that's easy enough to do. The mistake I made on this one was I didn't wait for the heart to dry before I tried to make the handprint. And the first time I did that, because there was already so much moisture in the heart area, it didn't take the handprint. This was 3 attempts at a handprint before it finally took. And because it was wet underneath, it kind of bled a little bit and it kind of mixed all together. But it still came out. But that's something that can happen. Then I tried to do it again, and I used a sponge to paint the heart. I came up with an idea, and I thought I would soak up some paint with this and use this to paint it. And what I did with that is I absorbed too much water. I don't know if you could see, but the water bled the paint all the way around, and it kind of absorbed out. So if you get too much water into your paint and transfer it to the cloth, it will kind of bleed out a little bit. And do that too. And then this is kind of how it came out with allowing the heart to dry completely. And then the handprint I put on this was just 1-to-1 paint and water. And that's how that came out. And it came out a little cleaner, but honestly, this even totally works. Even if it comes out blotchier than you think, even if it comes out not quite how you expected it to be, it's still you. We're not trying to recreate works of Vincent van Gogh here. We just want you. As long as it's your handprint and what you worked on and sent back, that's the important thing.
Hey, Buck, that last one that you had with the pink heart, what was that ratio of water to how did you do the pink heart?
Oh, yes. I did on the pink, I actually did about 2 water to 1 paint because I was covering a big surface and I wanted it to be a little lighter in the background. And thank you for bringing that up. If you are going to do a background image, you do want it to be a little lighter. And also, if you're going to put a color on top of it, you want that color to come out a little stronger. So you got to think about your color choice. You don't want to have a dark blue background and light green hand.
Did it take a while for that first heart to dry then?
Well, the first one I did that I didn't allow it to dry.
Right.
I tried the second time 2 hours later, it still was not dry. And then 4 hours in total after that, it still wasn't dry.
So what about blow drying it with a blow dryer?
Yeah, well, this one, basically what I did was I did the heart one night, and then I came back the next morning, and then I just put the handprint on it, and that worked really well too.
But
So if you want to let something dry, you absolutely can. You don't have to do this in one shot right now. I'm just giving you guys the tools to get it done and come up with something that you like.
Buck, did you do any tracing with pencils?
I did on one, not on any of these, and I'll show you the one that I traced the pencil.
Cool.
Okay, any other questions? All right, now here are a couple other ideas. And since you asked about it, I'll show the one with where I traced with pencils next. And the next thing you could do is once you make a handprint, you can do the handprint first. And then if you want, you could paint something else on it. I painted the things in the center of the hand. You don't have to paint them in the center of the hand. You can kind of do whatever you want. This is really up to you. Oh, one other thing, just to be clear with everyone, the size that your cloth is not the size we're going to use. Every one of these are going to be cropped down and cut to a smaller size. So try to localize it to approximately the center of that piece of cloth. If it's too big and you use all the way to the edges, we're probably going to have to crop some off. And you might miss some of the edges of whatever you painted, but it'll just make the entire square of yours be very colorful too. So keep that in mind if that's what you want to do. We can absolutely deal with that. But we're going to have to crop all these down to about the size of the hand. Now here's the one I traced. So what I did with this was I made a handprint, 1-to-1 paint to water for the handprint. Then I allowed that to dry overnight. Then I took our little plastic champy. I forgot where we got them, but the little plastic ones that some people busted out last night. And I set this on top of that and I traced it. And then I went with solid blue paint. And I see that question about signing your names. And yes, you can, you don't have to. But I will get to one of those in a second. So that's paint on top. So the hand had the mixture of 1-to-1, and I just used straight paint with that brush that was given to do the little champion. Now here's another example of that I did. I was a little short on ideas. All I was coming up with was hearts, apparently. But this is another one where I did a 1-to-1 for the hand, waiting for it to dry, and then just painted that directly with red paint right in the middle. Then as another option, what you guys can do is after you paint this and let it dry, you can go over with a marker and actually use like a Sharpie or something like that and add detail to it that way. That is like this one that you already saw. Whatever you want to write is up to you as long as it's appropriate. I would hate to lose a handprint because something inappropriate was on it. And then here's like one of the first ones I did, just as the basic ideas, with just a name with a handprint. So those are all options of what you can do. And then I've got a couple more too, but before that, any questions? All right. Now here's a couple more ideas of just interesting stuff that I came up with. One, on this one, what I did was I took a water and paint handprint. And when I did it, I didn't push real hard with my hand. I just made a nice firm handprint and that was it. And it left a lot of spaces. So if you look at like this one, there are a lot of little nooks and spaces that didn't quite get painted. So what I did on this one was I went back with that paintbrush and I mixed kind of a light green color. And I went through and I painted in all those spaces just to jazz it up and give it a little bit different look. And I thought it was interesting, so I wanted to show it to you guys. If you want to do some kind of effects like that, it wasn't that hard to do, and you can absolutely do that. And then
Favorite one. That one's awesome.
And then here's one more. This one actually turned out to be one of the more interesting ones. And what it was there was one piece that I had, and I tried to make a darker yellow, and I tried it, and the black paint I had was kind of splotchy, and it made black splotches. And I spilled a little bit of green paint on it. The handprint didn't come out very well, and it was just kind of the worst one. It was kind of a mess, and I figured it was a lost cause. So as I was finishing up, I just grabbed a paintbrush and started painting more stuff on it. And I just kept going and going and going until I ended up with something that I ended up liking. And that is this handprint. If you see, there are green splotches all over. There are big black splotchy marks. There's like, I don't know why I was in the mood, but I drew a wedding ring on it. That's obviously not there. I just started putting stuff on. I looked at my hand. I tried to draw the lines in my hand. And I came up with all different stuff. But the main thing is, it's my hand. And that's what I want from you guys. I mean, even if you think you messed up, even if you think it's not right, keep trying again. Because for what was like a lost cause of something that looked too splattered and too messed up to use, I think it got saved. Okay. So, and that's kind of one thing I want to tell you guys. If you think that it's wrong, or you think that you didn't do it right, you're wrong. It's as long as it has your handprint on it, it's going to be awesome. If the handprint comes out smudged or it bleeds into the cloth and it doesn't come out right, it's still your handprint and it's still the process you took to put this together for us. And because of that, it's going to be perfect. So
Hey,
you've
Buck.
got 2 cloths. Try it, and if you want to try again, pick the one you like the best. Or if you have one and it seems like a good expression of what you did here, you can absolutely just do that. And again, if you're not feeling super artistic and you don't want to get into it, or you're not coming up with ideas, just a handprint is still perfect, because that's still you on cloth coming together for a banner. And that's the whole point here. So any questions? I like the blue hand that I see out there.
Yeah, Baby Dash just painted his hand and then put it on there. It worked pretty good.
Sweet.
Or shares. I know a couple people were coming up with some ideas. We'd love to hear what you're thinking of doing.
All right, now, next up, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take a cloth and I'm gonna do the whole process right here, right in front of you, so that you could take a look at it. And just in case you were unclear about any step of the process, we'll just go ahead and do it. So
That looks cool, Kelly. That's awesome.
Nice, Callie. That's awesome.
Coming together great.
Great.
Callie, how did you do that? How'd you do the 3 colors?
I painted my hand and then did it. I wanted more spacing in it though, where I could fill in the black. So I think I'm gonna try to redo it.
I
But
like that ombre kind of, very cool. Yeah.
yeah, I just like chose like 4 colors and then painted it and then kind of
Okay.
mixed it on my hand and
Cool.
then put it down.
Good job.
But still do the water if you're wanting to.
when you said spacing, are you talking about like the lines between your fingers and stuff like that?
Like yeah, like you know where you did your like fill-in hand where you had like the green, and yeah, that's what I was kind of wanting to do, but there wasn't enough spacing, so I'm gonna try to redo it a little bit dry.
With the straight paint, what you're gonna get is kind of solid coverage, and you're gonna have to push hard to get a full handprint, and that will take up a lot of those spaces. So I think if you, like, since you're painting your hand, trying it that way, maybe mix a little water in each of them. So when you paint your hand, it's a little watery, and then give it a second to dry, and then give it a light press. You know what I mean? If you press it lightly, you might get a little more of those fingerprints in.
Okay, which I did this one twice. I did it where I painted my hand twice because I didn't know exactly what I wanted, just to see if I could get it.
Sorry, what was that again?
I painted my hand twice. Like when the first time that I did it, there wasn't a lot of like space. Well, there was like too much spacing, so I tried to do it again. So this is 2 handprints.
Very cool. Yeah, that's an idea if you want to try it again, but I think that one looks pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's my plastic. Where did the cloth pieces?
I've really enjoyed Buck's pajama bottoms every day.
Yeah, I've got a theme. We got a theme that works. Just stick with me.
Yes.
Okay. So here it is. Here's a piece, and then I'm gonna take. I just had it. Did anyone see where I put that little orange paint?
I think it's in your house somewhere.
I like that. It shows that you're thinking. Okay. Okay, so here is my cup of water. And here's the orange paint. So, okay, cool. Here we go. Pop this open. And I'm gonna kind of dab it, try to get as much paint as I can out onto this. And once I've got that, I'm gonna keep some paper towels on hand, because if paint starts getting into places on my hand that I don't want it to get, I can dab it off real quick. Now I'm gonna try to add about that much water to this. I think that looks good. And then to mix it, I'm just gonna go get my fingers in there and mix it in and kind of spread it around the base of this. Once I've done that, I want to get some paint right off the ends of my fingers, and then place my hand in, kind of rub it, turn it around, make sure all the areas of my hand get some decent paint on it. And then you want to make sure there aren't drops forming on your hand that are about to drip off and do something that you don't want. And once that's there, take it, press, and lift. And handprint. So it can be that easy, or it can get as interesting and detailed as you would like it to get. 1 second while I wash my hand.
While he washes his hand, does anyone else want to share what's going on in there?
There's like a giant gap on my palm, but I think I'm just gonna fill it in with like a purple and a blue, but this is what my hand looks like right now.
Let me switch. Good job, Baby Dash. That's amazing.
That's adorable.
Good.
As far as gap in your palm, are you talking about the middle right here? Yeah, actually, that's extremely common. If you add a lot of water, it'll kind of fill it in a bit. But yeah, we all kind of have that, and it'll definitely come out that way, and that's still perfect.
I'm doing a rainbow one.
That sounds awesome. Okay, so those are all the basic ideas. Does anyone have any questions about that, or any questions about how to do something that you're not sure about? Maybe I could give you some ideas to come up with what you're looking to do.
It seems like most people are moving along.
Awesome.
I think I'm gonna turn my hand into like a garden, like with vines and roses coming out of it. Yeah.
You're gonna have that? Oh, one other thing. When you're finished with the plates, one, get the plates off of any surface. Overnight, that paint will kind of soak into the bottom of that plate. And I haven't had it happen yet, but it seems possible that it could soak through onto a surface. It's not going to happen in a couple hours, but if you leave it, it could. Second, the paint you mix, don't wash it down the sink. It actually can slightly gum up your pipes. So it's just not good to do. What you want to do instead is just let it dry. And then once it dries, just throw it right in the trash.
Yes, you do not want to gum up your water pipes if you are a renter. That could cost you some money. For any of you that were watching the home repair stuff.
Great rocks tip.
Are you a landlord by chance, Rox?
I might be.
All in all, even if it's your place, you don't want to gum up your pipes. It could still cost you some money. Oh, also, the truck, awesome. Love it.
That looks great.
Also, the trash bags. There's no reason they can't still be used. They don't have to just get thrown away. Once they dry, it's still a usable trash bag.
Scooter, you want to see my hand? I'm not done painting it yet.
Yeah, but you don't have your camera on. All right, wait. Spotlight, amazing. Let me take a picture. Awesome.
You know, one thing I would like to say is I'm very impressed by how much creativity is just jumping out so quickly. You guys are doing awesome.
I saw someone else going to share. Let's see. Oh, Brooklyn. Look at that. Speaking
I
of
love
which,
it.
here we go. Anyone else want to show theirs?
Hey, Buck.
Oh, it's supposed to be done already?
Yeah.
Hey, Buck.
Yes.
Hey, how do you get paint off of your laptop?
You buy a new laptop.
Brooklyn, I would try a magic eraser.
Yeah, I just got a couple of specs, but I'm like, oh no, I got paint on my laptop.
And
it looks pretty cool.
Or
I ended up with paint
little-
almost everywhere for a little while.
I tried to do American flag. It wasn't working.
Brooklyn, or I would try maybe a Q-tip and some alcohol and just do small little wipes.
Yeah, alcohol seems to help a lot of things.
Yeah. I mean, did you get it on the keys or did you get it
No,
on?
I just got a couple of spots on the edge by the mouse pad, but we're good. Nothing earth shattering.
Just paint the whole thing.
Yep. There you go.
Whole new laptop.
That's it. Paint by numbers. I'm gonna go wash my hands. Excuse me a minute.
Justice, let me spotlight. There we go.
Awesome.
Thank you. Tell us about it.
Wait, can you show it again?
Okay.
And while you're showing, tell us.
I don't know. I just pink, purple, and blue. My thumb didn't really show up, so I had to trace the outline it did on itself.
Yeah.
So
cool.
I had to fill in all the purple and the blue because most of it stayed on my hand. But other than that,
Are those your favorite colors?
pink and blue are. Purple is my mom's favorite color.
There you go.
Nice. Oh, did I mention you're only supposed to do your right hand? I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Any hand is okay.
You scared me for about 2 seconds.
We were finna fight, but we were most definitely finna fight in a second.
Yeah, I know.
Gonna throw hands.
I
I didn't even do my
Yeah.
left. You gave me a
I
hard
saw a lot of heads jump up like, what?
But I'm lucky because I
That's
have
kinda what I'm going for.
just a pack of brushes because I used to be into painting, so I have just this giant bag of acrylic paints and stuff. So
I have.
okay, that's adorable,
I
Blondie.
love it.
So the weird thing is it actually made a little heart in there. There was literally a little hole and I'm like, oh my God, there's a heart in my hand. So I just highlighted it.
That's perfectly and specifically you. That's awesome.
It is. Thank you. How fun. And pink is my brand color. I love it. It's a pretty pink. Thank you.
Pookie, you're looking good too. Let's see it.
So mine isn't done. Whose is that? Oh, Pookies.
Yeah, I saw the, I got the heart also in mine. So I was like, oh, perfect.
I love it.
So my
grid
done. But this is my paper outline of what I want to do. So I'm gonna do the logo and then I'm gonna put my hand in the center.
Awesome.
I think it'll look cool. I don't know if I should make my hand the main print or the socially together, physically distance, the logo, the thing that is popping out more.
One thing I would tell you is the more like perfect detail, like that has a lot of letters, and the more like exact detail you try to get in, the harder it becomes.
I think I'm
So
gonna do
maybe-
the lettering in Sharpie.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see.
And then you got to figure out where your hand goes on it. So what you cover, what you don't, right?
Yeah.
Let's see it, Elise.
I kind of messed up. Sorry for the background noise, but
Nice, Elise.
Love it.
I like the green and blue.
I did mine. It's a little light
Like
though.
lotion, at least. Beautiful.
It's a little
And
light.
remember, like I said, actually messing up
No.
is technically impossible. As long as it's you and yours, I want it and I love it.
Are you talking to me? Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's a little light, but you can see it kind of, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. It's very light.
Yeah, maybe
I know.
you could go over it with again with a little bit more paint.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that when it dries.
Yeah.
Yes.
The hand that you like filled in the side parts of it that didn't quite show
Yeah.
up on the page. Can you show that one again?
Yes. Are you talking about this one?
Yes. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And so this one was my first attempt at the heart of the hand. This one is actually, the handprint didn't come out as dark as I'd like. So I ended up doing it 3 times to get it dark enough to show up, but it still works. So if you don't get your handprint to show up exactly how you want, you can totally do it again.
Timothy, you want to show that? Let's see it.
I'm doing a red-blue gradient.
Very cool.
Nice.
Scooter, you want to see my final product of it on my hand?
Yeah, one sec. Let me go
Yeah,
back.
got
Where are you? Oh, let me spotlight. Oh, and he's gone. Just like that. Okay. All right, where are you, Dino? Oh,
Sorry about that, Scooter. He's back.
he's back. Let's see it. Can I take a picture? 3, 2. Awesome.
Love it.
So good. Do you want to tell us about it?
Sure. I put my hand on, but then there was some white spaces, so I filled it in with purple. Then I did some red and pink splatter.
Amazing.
Awesome. That is sweet.
Thanks, Buck. That was cool.
All right. Where's Dino? Is your camera on?
Hey Buck, do you just want one hand or can I put both of my hands this way?
Well, The idea was one hand and everyone else is doing one hand.
Okay, I'll do one.
So that was the basic idea, but it's yours. Whatever you would like to do is up to you.
Okay, Scooter, I'm ready.
All right, I'm ready. Here we go. Wowzers! The blue's
Oh, it's
dripping.
running.
Yeah. I gotta touch it up again.
You know, you can't mail in your hand. You have to put that on the cloth, right?
Yeah.
If we receive any email, something went horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Scooter, can I see yours?
I'm just doing the camera. I'm gonna do mine a little later.
Scooter, are you going to share any of those pics? Like that last one I wanted to get a picture of. That was so cool.
Yeah. I will share the pictures. Okay, 1 second.
Ouch.
Cool. Love it.
I like the black shading. That's cool.
Yeah, the black shading is really cool.
I just saw a text come through on my
like more
phone,
detail
trashing
with
my Ducks t-shirt.
Huh?
I had to. I'm sorry. I felt like a bad fan.
Callie, did you want to talk about yours at all?
This is what I wanted to more do with the other one, where it's like.
Of course,
all
that's a
three.
different one.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I love it.
Thank you.
I kind of fixed it. And
Let's see. Here you go. We're starting to be able to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. And I saw chat from Prodney. Just like it is expensive to get paint out of your clogged drain, it's also expensive to get paint out of your clogged throat. So don't drink it.
Thankfully, there was no paint in the water. I just was like, oh, water, I'm going to go to drink it. And then I didn't because I remembered it's for my paint.
I'm realizing now I did not have to use a paper plate. I have a whole like flour thing to mix paints.
Good job, Justice.
Sorry, what was the comment about the flowers?
So I have like a whole thing to mix paints, and I forgot I owned it till I was going through my bag just now. So realizing I didn't have to use the paper plate.
Well, it's easier to get your hand inside the paper plate.
Oh no, I didn't do that because I had multiple colors, so I had to like paint it on anyway.
Who's doing the paint on the hand directly and who's doing the paint on the plate? Oh, yeah.
We're doing it. Yeah. Who's doing which?
Tommy, let's
Raise
see.
your paint hand.
I think Kamikaze's doing her hand.
Wow.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Awesome.
We did hand.
Mackenzie, you want to show yours?
Well, I'm not done. I drew this out. So I'm thinking I'll do like California with my heart there and then Nevada with my fingerprint where I'm at.
I love that.
I made 2 handprints because I'm not sure if I like this one better or this one. This one's a little bit messier. So that's what I'm trying to decide while they're drying. But yeah.
Yeah, I love that idea. So with that, to paint that other stuff on there, it's probably going to be easier for you to just go direct paint just probably don't mix any water when you're painting that other detail with the states and stuff on there. That might work better.
I've just finished mine. I'm gonna hold up my finished product.
Let me spotlight you. There you go.
Nice. Love it.
That looks great, Dino.
Dino, can you show your face while you're holding it?
Yeah, hold on. Let me put it down because it's wrinkled.
Yeah.
So hold on.
Be careful so that it doesn't fold together because that'll smear your paint. And that's the key last step. While your paint is still wet, let it dry without accidentally folding on itself. If it accidentally folds, it can totally change the idea you had. So
Okay.
give it ample time to dry.
Doc, I need your advice.
Yes.
So I don't know if you can see. So I put my triangle
Okay.
in the center, and I also have the somewhere. Oh, it's under. We'll just use this. If I put my hand this way, you'll be able to see my hand and the lettering, but then my hand is in like a weird spot.
It will become very difficult to crop that to the size we're dealing with. So I would just do your hand over it. I mean, we know what the letters say.
Okay.
You know
so
what I mean?
that was my next question. Should I just do the colors because it's like a white bar, gray, and then black? Should I just do the bars, skip the letter, and then put my hand in the center?
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't even have to color. You don't even have to follow the colors that are on anything you've seen. You come up with your own colors because we all know that shape. So it's all up to you. But yeah, I would say since your hand might cover a lot of letters anyway, skipping the letters is probably an awesome idea.
Okay, I'm ready.
Go for it. Awesome. You want to tell us about it?
I don't know.
You don't have to. That's okay.
My brain isn't working right now, so I don't know.
Too early?
Yeah, it's too early.
You know, it's a hand done in paint, very similar to the hand done in paint that I made a turkey out of when I was in like preschool. Did anyone else do that when they were younger?
They made us do it in like first, second grade.
Hey, this is advanced that.
All right, Scooter, you ready for this Grandmaster art piece?
Yes, I am.
What we got? Love it.
Put that big old head next to it. There we go. Oh, adorable.
Good job, Patch.
Hey, thanks, Coop.
Tell us about it.
I totally used Cooper's idea, man. When he talked about splattering paint, I went and got myself a straw. And since I had a bunch of gaps in my handprint, I just loaded up the paint with a straw and blasted it all over the canvas and my phone and the floor and the measuring glass. And that looks great around here.
Amazing.
You're gonna need a bigger trash bag.
Yeah, great event, Buck. You did about $3,000 worth of damage in painted items.
All across the country. Way to go, dude. Never has there been a bigger act of vandalism.
My damage is no longer localized. I can spread it out everywhere.
All
Any suggestions on what I should draw on this other piece of cloth?
Well, I mean,
A
are you putting
rainbow.
the other piece of cloth in?
No, this is just to like hang up in my room.
You know, since you mentioned flowers, I was thinking kind of how I did the heart in the background. It might be kind of cool to do like a sunflower or some type of flower like that in the background, the handprint on it or something like that. Or if you're a Bob Ross fan, you could just paint some happy trees.
Little happy.
I got that on mine.
Let's see it. Take it out a little. There we go.
That's awesome, you fat.
Thank you.
Nice.
You got it?
I can't see your face.
All done?
Yafet, just
Yeah.
so you know, we might have to crop that a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So we're definitely get all of your hand. But some of the other stuff might get cropped a little bit, but it'll still be on there, like from the edges coming in. That's a cool artistic effect too.
I did an equality sign.
I mean, I'd like to show mine if
Let's
people
do
are
it.
down to
You're spotlighted.
It's not really a hand, but I have my fingerprints on it. So it has some part of me on it.
Nice,
Oh.
Morgan. That's good.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Buck, I have a question.
Yes.
Is it gonna be like washed and will the colors fade a little bit?
It will not be washed. The colors will get messed up if it gets washed. So no, we will not wash it. I don't think any of the banners have ever been washed.
No, they're crunchy. They've not been washed.
Well,
Yes.
that's not true. Some of them have kind of been washed in the flood.
The Great Flood.
I was gonna say that.
Hey Buck, once we're all done, how do we do we mail this to you guys or?
I'm gonna work with you guys to collect them.
Okay. Sounds good.
Scooter, do you have my number or my email to get in contact with me to
Your
complete my
numbers and emails.
Okay.
How do you think I got in? How do you think you got your here? I had to send you guys stuff.
That's a very good point.
This is no time for common sense, Scooter.
Get that common sense out of here.
Scooter, I think you should take a road trip and pick everyone up personally.
I
Then
agree.
go to Idaho because it's really peaceful.
I'm in.
We'll do a fundraiser. We'll do a GoFundMe page. Send Scooter around the United States to pick up hands.
Dude, I'm down. I'll co-drive with you, bro. It'll be the relay across the country, man. Forget
There you go.
North Bay Relay, Peninsula Relay. We're going across America.
I'll be the CIT for the trip.
Wait, did you just say it would end up being hands across America?
Isn't that the same thing?
Good one. Boom, boom.
I see some other people working hard on there. Does anyone else want to share either their hand or what they're working on?
Hey, Scooter, can I share mine?
Yeah, where are you? Oh, there we go. Let me spotlight you.
This is what I have so far.
Nice.
Nice, Lauren.
That's beautiful.
Cool.
I love the infinity.
That's so cool. Wouldn't expect anything less.
Great job. Tell us about it.
Well, I wanted to do something, and you can't really see it with the lighting, but you can see it in person, but I filled in all of the little spaces in my handprint with white paint. And so it kind of like exaggerated like all the lines in my hands. And then there's the infinity sign behind it. And I'm going to wait for it to dry and do one of them across the hand as well, because like for me, the foundation has always been there and we're forever. And like, this is my forever family right here. So I did a little infinity sign across it.
Love that.
Very cool.
That's brilliant.
I came in halfway through that and I was like, dang, so extra.
All right, Elise, here you come. Tell us about it.
You can't really tell, but the peace sign is in purple.
Super cool.
I can tell it looks great.
Very cool, Lise.
Did you paint that in with a paintbrush?
Yeah.
Cool. And it didn't, you didn't have any problems with it not being dry enough?
No, I have a window right here, so I just set it in the sun for a second, and it just dried right away.
Oh, UVs.
Okay, one, I just got paint on my mouse pad. Two, I'm lucky because I have like all these like old paints that I haven't used in like years, and most of them are unopened. So I'm like just sitting here mixing random colors and making hearts. But so I don't know what I'm gonna do on top of the heart once it dries because I like painting. But this is what the heart looks like right now. I'm gonna finish filling it in, and then I'll probably just trace something in Sharpie.
Nice. It looks like a broken heart.
Wait, show us it again.
Because I haven't finished filling it in. I'm working on filling it in right now.
Very cool.
Good start, Justice. Looks good.
Hey, Scoop. Do I need to worry about putting my name on this anywhere? How are we gonna know whose hand is whose?
Well, so I'll be collecting them. So
We put them on the back.
But I think if you have a Sharpie, that's even better. Throw your name on the back, in the bottom.
Well, if you write your name on the back, it might show through and bleed through the cloth. So that's not a good idea.
Good point.
We don't actually even need your name on it. We just want to get all of us together on it. And when you guys come in, you can take a look at it and you'll notice your hand.
Fair point.
You can also try to hide your name in your artwork.
I'm not that creative.
Absolutely.
I did a little minimalist one if you guys want to see it.
Yeah.
It's just
wait,
like
wait. I'm so slow with this. Okay. Then I spotlight for everyone.
Rad.
I love it.
That looks so good, Sammy.
Awesome, Sammy.
Tell us about it.
What?
Tell us about it.
What do you mean?
I mean, tell us about it. Why'd you choose pink? How'd you write in the young Yaz?
I did it with the little paintbrush that came with the little.
You painted that in?
What, the Yaz? Yeah.
Yeah, wow. You're skilled.
Our people got skills.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Do you guys watch TikTok?
Of course.
Pat, you look like him. Tell me.
No way. I'm way more attractive than that guy. He's got that huge thing on his face.
What thing? No, that's just paint.
Oh.
You guys have the same hair. Literally.
We're about at the time limit, so anything you want to like wrap up with them?
No. Anyone got any last minute questions before we go? Now I've got to say one thing I'm loving about this is we're getting a lot of different colors. You guys are really diving in and exceeding expectations on like how much is being added. And we have some simple ones, we have some busy ones, and there's going to be such a wide variety of things that are added. I think it's going to make for an awesome balance. The worst thing would be is that they all look the same. Definitely. That's what this is going to be. I love this.
Hey, Beck, when Booyah quilts them all together, Will you guys send us a photo of it all together, or will we have to wait until next year to see it?
Hadn't really thought about that, but I think it's probably a good idea. Yeah, we'll try to get a photo of it, and then I'm guessing I'll work with Scooter on how to get a photo of that out to you guys.
Oh, we'll
I
share it
imagine
all over
email
social
would probably
media.
be the best.
Did you have a question?
Yeah. How long does it take for the paint to dry?
Hours.
Okay.
Takes a while. I wouldn't mess with it. I would leave it on plastic and leave it to dry for at least overnight. And by tomorrow morning, it'll be fine. Also, another thing, if you guys have painted it on the plastic, if there's paint on the plastic, be careful about setting it on that same painted area, because sometimes when it's bled through onto the plastic, if you leave it sitting there, in time it'll soak back in and it'll make marks from the other side coming through. So be careful of the paint that's on the plastic when you're leaving it somewhere to dry. I would just move it on the plastic bag to a clean spot, and that'll be your best bet for getting it to dry clean.
Hey, Scooter, can I show you my outline really quick?
Yeah, quickly. One sec. Before that, Dr. Ruth, maybe as they're going to start cleaning up, just so you know, you are on deck. And then
Got it.
anyone else has ones that they'd like to show real quickly? Maybe we have 2 minutes to do it.
Are we gonna do a group photo?
Oh yeah, let's do a group photo first. Good point.
Show if you have yours ready. I show them. You want us to show them with the group photo? Is that what you're wanting?
Yep.
Oh, one more thing. What do you guys think? Of the ones that I did, which one should I turn in as mine?
I like the last one, the one that you messed up on.
Yeah, I like that one too.
The yellow one, or oh yeah, the last one. Yeah,
How about the one you just did with us?
No, the one, the handprint, the orange handprint.
Yeah,
Well, that doesn't have anything else to it.
but I'm saying
Is this
you
the one you
did
guys
it
are
with
talking about?
us.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's cool, bud.
Yeah, that one's cool.
You guys ready with your photos or your handprints? Not photos, my photo. I like Monkey's hand. That's such a good one. Ready? 3, 2, 1. All right, one more. I got to go to the second screen. 3, 2, 1. All right, awesome.
I thought it was kind of a silly joke to paint a wedding ring on this one, but now it's going to be immortalized forever because you guys picked it.
Yep.
So there we go.
Do we have time to do a monkey's minute while everyone's cleaning up, and then we'll let Ruth go?
Yep. While you guys clean up, Monkeys ready.
Your Monkey's Minute. All right. This one's pretty simple, but it's Sunday now, so we're all getting ready to probably head back into our weeks. Normally in my life, I kind of do grocery shopping on Sundays and try and shop for the whole week. I know it's easy sometimes, just like, oh my God, I'm hungry. I'm just going to order something. I'm going to do DoorDash. I'm going to grab something. But when I'm kind of being smart about it, I do try and buy groceries for the whole week. So when you're doing grocery shopping, if you're outside of your home, or when you're outside of your home and somebody's not doing all the shopping for you, a few little hints about grocery shopping. Make a list. There's nothing worse than going to the store when you got the munchies, when you're super hungry, because then it's just all like flaming Cheetos and Snickers bars, and that's all that you end up getting. So make a list for what you actually want. Plan your meals out ahead of time so that you go and stick to what's on the list. Because all that extra stuff, that impulse buy, really adds up. You start filling your cart and your grocery bill goes way high. All the stuff at the cash registers, if you're not checking yourself out, and even some of that there, is literally called point of purchase, and people pay for that placement. Companies pay for that placement because it's the irresistible stuff. Next to the, the crappy National Enquirer with all the headlines about Kanye and Kim and everything, there's all those like snack foods and the things. There's usually a soda cooler right there, and everybody kind of does that last second grab it thing because they think that you're not going to be able to resist the impulse. If you can't resist the impulse, be honest with yourself and use a shopping app. if you've got Alexa or Google Home Assistant or Siri or Cortana or Genie or whatever, you can just call out, hey, Alexa, add mustard to my grocery list. And then when you get to the store, your whole grocery list is right there. You don't have to write it down. Super easy to have technology take care of you, make it work for you. And just when you're in the store, for larger stores, not a small bodega or something, but a larger grocery store, shop the perimeter. The healthiest foods are at the perimeter, or at least start there and then fill in with what you need. Think about what's on the outside as the outside walls of the store. That's where all the produce is, the fruits and vegetables. That's probably where dairy is. That's probably where the meat counter is. It's probably where deli is with some fresh made salads or a salad bar. All that stuff is on the outside. The stuff that's got a lot of extra artificial ingredients and things thrown in and hyper processed foods tend to be in the center of the store. So make a trip around the outside, get all the healthy stuff first, supplement if you need it with stuff from the inside, but stick to the outside as best you can. That's it.